Thank you for watching. If you found this video inspiring, please don't forget to like, comment, and share it with others. And my dear friends, I'd truly appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, American Spirit Speaks, for more motivational content every week. Together, let's inspire and uplift each other to achieve greatness. Let me know if you'd like further personalization. Wow!
Challenging the status quo sparks innovation. At its core, innovation is the act of introducing something new, something that disrupts the norm and redefines what is possible. However, this act does not occur in isolation. It begins with a fundamental and often uncomfortable question: why do we do things this way? This simple inquiry holds immense power, yet it is one of the most challenging questions to ask, especially in environments that thrive on tradition, routine, and predictability. When we challenge the status quo, we are stepping into uncharted territory. It requires us to dismantle long-held assumptions and confront the deeply embedded habits that define our systems, organizations, and even our personal lives. This is not an easy process. The status quo exists for a reason. It provides comfort, stability, and a sense of order. People are naturally inclined to stick to what they know because it feels safe. Yet, history has repeatedly demonstrated that safety can become a trap, limiting progress and stifling creativity. Think about the greatest innovators of our time, individuals like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, or Malala Yousafzai. What sets them apart is their ability to look at what everyone else accepts as unchangeable and see the possibility for something different. Steve Jobs questioned the limitations of personal computing and reimagined how technology could integrate into our lives. Elon Musk challenged the traditional automotive and aerospace industries, envisioning a future of sustainable energy and space exploration. Malala Yousafzai confronted societal norms around female education, demanding a world where girls everywhere have access to learning. These leaders didn't just accept the world as it was, they had the courage to imagine what it could be. The process of challenging the status quo starts with curiosity. Curiosity drives us to question why things are the way they are and to explore what might happen if we did things differently. It is the fuel that ignites the spark of innovation. Without curiosity, we remain stuck in the confines of what is familiar, repeating patterns that may no longer serve us or align with our goals. Curiosity, however, is not enough. It must be paired with courage. Courage is required because challenging the status quo often means going against the grain. It means facing resistance, criticism, and even failure. Organizations and societies are often built around the idea of maintaining stability. When someone challenges that stability, it can be perceived as a threat. This resistance can come from peers, leaders, or even our own internal fears. The voice that says, "This is how it's always been done," can be deafening, but it is precisely in these moments that courage becomes vital. Innovation is not just about creating something new, it's about creating something better. But to identify what better looks like, we must first acknowledge the shortcomings of what currently exists. This requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, to admit that something is broken, or that a process no longer serves its intended purpose. It is only by shining a light on these cracks that we can begin to mend them. This process can be messy, and it often involves trial and error. But every failed attempt brings us closer to a solution that works. One of the most compelling aspects of challenging the status quo is its ripple effect. When one person dares to question what others accept as immovable, it inspires others to do the same. Innovation is contagious. It spreads through organizations and communities, creating a culture where new ideas are not just tolerated, but celebrated. This culture of innovation is what drives industries forward, transforms societies, and solves the problems that once seemed insurmountable. Consider the story of Airbnb. At the time of its inception, the idea of staying in a stranger's home instead of a hotel seemed absurd to most people. The founders, however, questioned the traditional hospitality model. They saw an opportunity to connect people in a way that had never been done before, creating a platform that democratized travel and redefined what it meant to find accommodations. Today, Airbnb is a global phenomenon, but it all began with a simple yet powerful decision to challenge the norm. Another example can be found in the evolution of transportation. For decades, the taxi industry operated in much the same way, with little innovation or change. Then came companies like Uber and Lyft, which dared to question the traditional model. They asked why transportation couldn't be more accessible, more efficient, and more user-friendly. By challenging the existing system, they revolutionized the way people move through cities, creating a new standard for convenience and affordability. These stories highlight an essential truth. Innovation is not reserved for a select few. It is something we are all capable of, provided we have the courage to challenge the status quo. Whether it's a groundbreaking idea that transforms an industry or a small change that improves a personal routine, the act of questioning what is can lead to the discovery of what could be. The barriers to innovation are often self-imposed, rooted in fear of failure or a desire to maintain the status quo. But when we push past these barriers, we unlock a world of possibilities. Challenging the status quo requires a shift in mindset. It means embracing uncertainty and viewing obstacles as opportunities rather than threats. It means being willing to take risks and make mistakes, knowing that every setback is a stepping stone toward progress. It also means surrounding ourselves with people who encourage us to think differently, to see the world through a new lens, and to push boundaries. Innovation rarely happens in isolation. It is the product of collaboration, of diverse perspectives, coming together to solve a common problem. This process is not linear. It is often messy, unpredictable, and full of twists and turns, but it is also exhilarating. There is a unique satisfaction that comes from knowing you have contributed to something bigger than yourself, from seeing an idea take shape and grow into something that makes a difference. Innovation is not just about creating new products or technologies. It's about creating new ways of thinking, new ways of living, and new ways of being. It is about redefining what is possible and inspiring others to do the same. Challenging the status quo sparks innovation by opening the door to new possibilities, fresh ideas, and transformative breakthroughs. It is the starting point of change, the seed from which growth and progress emerge. The status quo represents the familiar, the predictable, and the comfortable, but it often comes at a cost: stagnation. Over time, systems, processes, and traditions that once worked well can become outdated, inefficient, or even counterproductive. It is only through questioning these norms that we can uncover better ways to solve problems, achieve goals, and create a more meaningful impact in the world around us. The act of challenging the status quo begins with a question, often a deceptively simple one. Why? This question has the power to disrupt patterns and provoke thought. It invites us to examine what we take for granted, whether it's a long-standing policy, a cultural norm, or a deeply held belief. Yet, asking why is not easy. It requires curiosity and a willingness to face uncertainty. It also requires the courage to step outside of the crowd and risk being seen as a troublemaker or disruptor. After all, most people are inclined to go along with established ways of doing things because it feels safer and more predictable. When we dare to challenge the status quo, we enter a space of possibility. This is where innovation thrives. Innovation does not happen in environments where conformity reigns. It happens in spaces where questioning and exploration are encouraged. By examining the limitations of the current system, we can identify opportunities for improvement, growth, and reinvention. Challenging the status quo doesn't always mean rejecting everything that came before. Often, it means building upon the foundation of what exists, refining it, and adapting it to meet new challenges or changing circumstances. History is full of examples of individuals and organizations that sparked innovation by refusing to accept the status quo. Think about the Wright brothers, who challenged the belief that human flight was impossible. Their relentless pursuit of a dream that others dismissed as foolish paved the way for the modern aviation industry. Or consider Rosa Parks, whose decision to defy segregation laws by refusing to give up her bus seat became a catalyst for the civil rights movement. Both examples show that questioning the status quo can lead to profound and lasting change, even in the face of significant resistance. Resistance is an inevitable part of challenging the status quo. When people push against established norms, they often encounter opposition from those who have a vested interest in maintaining the current system. This resistance can be external, such as criticism or pushback from peers and authority figures, or internal, in the form of self-doubt and fear of failure. It is natural to feel hesitant about stepping into the unknown, but it is in these moments of discomfort that growth occurs. Innovation is inherently risky. It requires a willingness to experiment, to fail, and to learn from those failures. Every great breakthrough is preceded by countless trials and error. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is essential for anyone seeking to challenge the status quo. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a critical part of the process. By embracing failure as an opportunity to learn and improve, we can move closer to achieving meaningful innovation. Curiosity plays a central role in challenging the status quo. It drives us to ask questions, explore alternatives, and seek out new perspectives. Without curiosity, we become complacent, content to accept things as they are without considering how they could be better. Curiosity, however, is not enough on its own. It must be paired with determination and action. Asking why is only the first step. We must also ask what can we do about it, and then take concrete steps toward making that vision a reality. The ripple effects of challenging the status quo can be profound. When one person dares to question a long-standing assumption or practice, it often inspires others to do the same. This creates a domino effect, leading to a culture of innovation where new ideas are not only welcomed, but actively pursued. In organizations, this can result in breakthroughs that drive growth, efficiency, and competitive advantage. In communities, it can lead to social and cultural shifts that improve quality of life and promote greater equity. Consider the story of Netflix, a company that disrupted the traditional video rental industry by challenging its underlying assumptions. Instead of relying on physical rental stores, Netflix embraced a subscription-based model and later pioneered streaming technology. By questioning the way people accessed and consumed entertainment, Netflix revolutionized the industry and set a new standard for convenience and accessibility. This level of innovation would not have been possible without a willingness to question the status quo and explore uncharted territory. Another example is the development of renewable energy technologies. For decades, the world relied heavily on fossil fuels, despite growing concerns about their environmental impact. Innovators in the renewable energy sector challenged the status quo by asking, what if we could power the world sustainably? Their efforts have led to advancements in solar, wind, and other clean energy technologies, demonstrating that challenging established norms can lead to solutions that benefit both people and the planet. Challenging the status quo also requires collaboration. Innovation rarely happens in isolation. It often involves bringing together diverse perspectives, skills, and experiences to tackle complex problems. When people from different backgrounds come together to question assumptions and explore new ideas, they can achieve results that none of them could have accomplished alone. Collaboration amplifies creativity and helps to identify blind spots, ensuring that solutions are both effective and inclusive. Ultimately, the courage to challenge the status quo is not about being rebellious for the sake of rebellion. It is about being intentional in our efforts to create a better future. It is about recognizing that progress requires disruption and that every breakthrough begins with a question.